the way that all transpired and what he did?
Yeah, I mean, I'll answer your question about Kolek. I mean, it's fantastic. Absolute team win. Yeah, I mean, my heart's in a place to share the love for this club, man. You know, um, just a complete team effort. Start to bottom, Kolek clearly a big part of it. But that was a huge team win. People talk about, the what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. It didn't go well. I stay even keel because I have an absolute privilege of knowing what this club is about. And on display tonight, down 6-0. Probably some history being made there. I don't know. I'm taking a stab at it, But you know, just no letdown. It's like, okay, we got to figure it out, and we did clearly. And Stephen was a huge part of that. A lot of softer contact, some ground balls, don't take them away from them. And the next thing you know, it's like first and third, first and third, first and third. I'm like, yes, but we're gonna throw it through. We're gonna throw it third. So it's like, man, and it's 6-0. And Stephen could have easily like, oh my, not my night. And he went out and guys came in like, let's just score. Let's just score. And hey, just go out and throw up a zero. We score, you throw up a zero. We score, you throw up a zero. And if we score every inning and we keep it right there, math says we win. And it ended up happening. But Stephen was fantastic to get into that 6th inning, and especially on a day where we just got through in our last 6 games, 2 11-inning games and a bullpen game, and be able to piece it together with those guys and the unsung heroes in the bullpen with Yuki and Reynolds and of course Estrada at the end. It was pretty special.
As you talked about the mentality, but what is it about the way your team goes about offense that puts a lot of pressure on the other team, makes things happen?
Yeah, so that's the one thing, we're built, everybody's got their own theory of how they're built. We're built, and everybody thinks their theory is the best, right? But I really feel comfortable and confident, and our output has validated that, and that is like we're a complete offense. It really is an offensive machine that you look at it, it's just well played in all phases. We're going to get the defense here in a minute. There's a lot of positive things to unpack that I want to make sure I get out there. But, the offense was relentless. I love Toddy, right immediately answering back. Great approach. A couple times a night, got a ball out of the ballpark. Next thing you know, boom, we're right back at it. Louis, fantastic other way. Just used the whole field, and Bogey again, continued to take good at bats. Now he found some grass because he's hit some balls at people, even that hard ball to the right center. Crony, terrific at bats, and Wadey does his part and chips in and helps us out win a game. But it's coupled with the base running, right? Manny, big tag, gets to third. Louis, first and second, gets to second. Crony, head up, ball kicks away, scores. So that's why, listen, this game is going to be so challenging, but we consistently put our best foot forward offensively with our machine of how we look at doing things, with our approach. Don't strike out, put the ball in play. As Toddy says, do what the game calls for, run the bases smart and aggressive. And that is the best we can do. And that's usually pretty good and good enough pretty much every night. And it's been really good for the last, several days, and really good for the last year plus. And we'll continue to do it and be intentional about it. And it's really well played baseball game.
I guess a couple parts to this question, but how did you think Kolek pitched in the first, given all kind of the rough luck there? And then from there, with 38 pitches after one, was there any consideration to go into bullpen there, knowing how much work he had taken on in that first inning, or were you confident with how he pitched?
A little bit of both. I mean, you know big picture what you have in the game, and he's got, but then it's also when guys are on the ground and guys are around the plate, you know that at some point they got hit at somebody, right? So there's a little bit of an adjustment with what he was doing as far as the pitches, and using a couple different pitches a little bit differently or more that the group made, and him and Diaz got on the same page with that. And then once you look up and you also realize from my season, so he can have quick innings. That's one of the things we talked about, even in the winter meetings. We talked about Stephen possibly being a starter, and one thing that I was most on board with is the fact that because he's got multiple pitches and he sinks the baseball, he can have quick out. He can get quick outs, and so as a starter, that's great, right? And so if you know that when it's not looking as good, you can ride with it a little bit more. But credit goes to Stephen; he was able to do his part.
So it's only one run, but when you're down by 6 early and Tatis comes right back with a homer, what does it do for you guys?
Yeah, quite. I mean, it's like boom, okay, right back, we're in it. We boom, double down the line. You know, it's like, all right, here we go. You know, and so it gives you that confidence. But you know, if Toddy doesn't hit the homer, we still got a shot. You know, I feel good in the back, but clearly it does it. But yeah, and the one thing that also when you talk about, you know, Kolek getting through it is, you know, I've got a lot of good notes about the defense. Defense was on point tonight. You know, Louis with the guys playing the second, double play the seventh. You know, Manny, the guys playing the third, was backhand, bogey in the sixth, TS block, kept double plays in order, kept guys in out of scoring position. That's why it was such a good team win for me, because we did everything that you do on a baseball field to help you win a game, and the little things added up to a big thing, and that's a W.
Not to overdo it on Kolek, but you had Cruz warming in the first inning. What do you say to him, you know, 5 innings later when you do finally go get him after you managed to stick it through all that time?
Just one fantastic job, you know, absolutely fantastic job. You know, that was it's not easy to do. You know, you're down 6, you could easily hang your head. He kept it up and kept going, kept attacking, made the adjustments, kept his head in the competition, worked with Diaz. Mentioned getting the infielders involved, had quick outs, gave us a chance to score, come back, score, and he keeps it right there. And then, you know, we were able to do what we did with a very limited bullpen.
Anything else?